Jennifer McWilliams is the current quality manager for Continental Corp. She's responsible for maintaining and implementing quality management systems in all areas of manufacturing. This includes the implementation of quality management system software for the entire facility and managing the change control process. Jennifer, take it away.
Thank you all for allowing me to be here. I am here to speak about the software-enabled integration management system and digitalization of new product development in my experience implementing these. Again, as Laura has introduced me, I am here to speak about our integration of quality management system, how it has saved us money over the years, as well as how we've integrated IATF, ISO 14001, and as we are implementing safety, ISO 45001. I currently am the quality manager for Continental in the Winchester facility. We were just recently acquired from Continental. The headquarters is in Hanover, Germany. We still operate as our legal entity, O'Sullivan Films. Again, we were acquired in 2017, but we've been established since 1896. We have 425 employees here, and our current certifications held are ISO 9001, IATF 16949. We are in the process of implementing OSHA 18001, which will transition to 45001, as well as ISO 14001 for environmental. We are in the field of automotive, healthcare, and what is called living solutions, where we deliver plastic goods for pool liner, decking, flooring industries. The challenges and business impact that we've had implementing the business software. First, I'd like to say that when I first was hired, we did not have any kind of quality management system in place that was online. Everything was done by hand. So it was a manual operation. Everybody had their own process. So when I came on board 4.5 years ago, I was faced with implementing a quality management system that was online. And the question was, how do we do it? How do we know if we're effective? And one of the things that we learned from an audit was that we were not effective. We had a couple non-conformances for product launches, as well as really how did we know that we were effective in our quality management system? So I'd like to speak about that challenge and how we've overcome it. Currently, we are using a ERP system that was homegrown, and it wasn't compatible to everything that we needed to do. So we have implemented Omnex as our online system. We use that for doc control, problem solving, and internal audits most specifically. There's also an APQP module that we've benefited from as well that I will be demonstrating this. Okay, one of the questions that a lot of people have when you're implementing a business software, does it help from the office down to the shop floor? And the answer is yes. There's integration from all levels. Right, so I'm going to show you here your doc control. One of the benefits of having doc control online is that you know where the revision level is, who last approved it, or if there's somebody who needs to approve it and the status of it. The other thing with it being online is that it's visible to the entire facility. Right here, this slide shows you that it impacts every aspect that we just talked about. So a controlled document can tie into your internal audits. It can tie into your customer. One of the benefits with our quality management software was that when I first started, our DFMEAs, PFMEAs were all done in Excel. When we implemented Omnex, we now had an online version, and you could create the product family from the high level. So when the DFMEA was done, it would flow down through similar products. And then you would have your EVP&R, your test plans, your process flow, PFMEA, and your work instructions led to the shop floor. The software characteristics of integrated management software is that it's worldwide. We have multiple locations, so not just this Winchester site, but other locations can see what we're doing. They can use our tools. They might, even though we run different products throughout the world, other similar locations may take some of our experiences or lessons learned, and they will look at it and implement it at their site. The integration with email, reminders, escalation, all of that has saved time and effort for tracking people down, calling, or it getting lost in your inbox. The idea behind the IMS is that you have a single point. The other benefit is that it's role-based security. So one person might be in charge of the DFMEA, but you don't have to worry about having your engineers or other parties go in and make adjustments. That said, to also be in your stock control, managers are approving what others are doing, so you never lose sight of what is happening for your area. So implementing IMS and digitalization of new product development. This is where I speak very highly of this. It is such a tool that has helped us in many, many aspects. As I stated, when I first started, we did everything manually, and it was in Excel. There was nothing to keep you from losing sight of where your product was or your new launch. So the solution became, it was easily customizable when we wanted to build this. It was a fully integrated solution. Omnex for us was easy to use. It was single source. The speed of implementation was very fast. One thing that you have to have caution is you really need to understand and know your product families and what you make. That way, when you lay this out, you are very precise and you have an understanding of when you make a change, what product families it's going to affect, because this is parent level on the PFMEAs and it flows down throughout the shop floor. So it's very important that you understand the setup and who it's going to impact. For us, because we are mostly automotive, I can speak firsthand that all of our auditors absolutely love this software. They know that when there's a change made in the beginning of a program, it's carried throughout the entire phases, meaning your DFMEA, your PFMEA, your control plans, and then down to inspection level throughout the shop floor. That being said, if we need to make a change, if there was ever a corrective action and our customer needed to see that, when we make that change in the PFMEA, it comes back through Problem Solver. So not only did we have our corrective action issued in Problem Solver, we're not losing sight of it because it goes back and it feeds into your PFMEA, which then carries down through to the control plan. Integrated document management, digitalized audits, new program development, documentation, and problem solving is the scope of your business management system. So document management and records. As I stated before, we were 100% manual. So we had things on our network drive. No one knew who had what. There was printed revision levels. People were approving documents that were not supposed to make approvals. So when you build your role-based security, you can build it based at each department or each process, whether it be engineering, manufacturing, quality, your R&D department, however you want it to be, or if you need different folks to approve different areas. The Document Center is a one-stop solution. So as you can see over here on the left-hand side, your documents in your own documents, we have it broken down into levels. We did hide our DOPs just for security purposes, but it was broken into our departments. And then it shows you in this screen over here what you're looking at. the document name, the revision, the last date of revision, as well as who owned that document. So the owner would be who last put it in. But the next step is that it shows you the process that it can go through as far as the approval routing. As I spoke, the revision level, this is key because when you first enter your document, it doesn't just get pushed through the system. It goes through whatever route of approval you need to establish. For us here, our training department is the very last area. So you will see the Ann Halterman's name in every single DOP. And what that is, nothing hits our shop floor unless it's been trained upon. So our stopping point is that she manages that every person is trained on any procedure that is updated. Right here, you will see that we've numbered all of our documents just to keep track of where we were, but it's by department. So printer 2 is a specific area or operation for us. It has the document name, the date it was requested, and the piece that I like the most is the reason for change. Sometimes it might just be a correction, or there may be a reason that there was something that happened and we need to go back and we're searching that reason. This here was a correction to inks and drawdowns. So a printer for us is actually printing on the plastic. So if we need to search, there's an easy way to search, and you would find any DOP or standard operating procedure or checklist or form related to correcting inks should you need to do that. IMS visualization. So this would be your reporting function. Within document control and actually all modules, there's a reporting function. So if you want to see how long it takes from the start to the end of getting something approved, or how many rejections you may have, or what area has the most documents, you can do that. Again, the reporting goes down through all levels. So you'll have it in auditing, problem solver, the APQP process module, and it's all quick time reports that are online that really help management. My favorite module that we've used out of Omnex is actually Audit Pro. However, it is a solution that I highly suggest to anybody who's thinking about implementing an integrated management software. And that's because if you're using a document control center and you want to put check marks or checkpoints or your process cards, then it's very easy for auditors to go out, get the latest revision of a document, and you can tie the audit back to Doc Pro. You can tie it into your DFMEAs, your PFMEAs, and so forth. In the integrated audit module, what you're seeing here is you have your planned audits, your scheduled audits. You're able to see if there's auditors that are available. They can go in and accept the audit if they are. They can decline it if they're not. They can reschedule it if they need to. After the audit is complete, you would then, in our case, we actually have it approved. So the audit manager approves the audit before it's published. That's not something that you have to do. It's something we do here because we like to double check what clauses that internal auditors are signing to, and it's a stopgap for us to make sure that they are going to the correct clauses. However, you can publish those, and then your audit report would be published into Doc Pro, and it's visible to the entire facility. This here is just showing you that it has who did the audit name, and again, as it's published into document control, you can see this area here. The area over on the right is your process audit checklist. You don't have to use that, but it's created online, and it's just an extra tool for your internal auditors. Again, your reporting. So it's another area that This is specific to that audit report, your things that are done well, the things that need to be improved upon. It will show if you have corrective actions that are required, maybe it's major, minor, etc. Again, this goes through your audit report. It's real-time data, what's out there, how long it's been. The area I like to use this most is to see where we're seeing the most nonconformances. And that helps me as well for each year planning an audit, or maybe we do our audits quarterly, but maybe we start seeing a specific area that gets really high in nonconformances or an area for opportunity. We will reschedule that audit until we correct any issues that are going on on the shop floor. Digitalization and new product documentation. So again, as I stated, this connects your R&D process. So that's where you're building your design FEMA, and it will go all the way to the shop floor. When I first started, which is what brought me to O'Sullivan Films, we, as I stated, we had a manual process, but we had gotten it in an audit with a major nonconformance because our DFMEAs just were not, they were not following through to the PFMEAs. They were scattered. They didn't have accurate data. And so when we started looking into what kind of software we needed, this became a one-stop shop. So not only were we fixing one area, but it really helped the entire facility. Most importantly, it helps with time. So when we built our product family and characteristics, you build it by tables, and then we would lay it out throughout the entire organization. So we built it for every single product we make here. So your DFMEA led to your DVP&R, which led to your process flow. And as you can see, it states our operation, and it shows your process flow. Then you may need to call out special characteristics. You can do all of that here. Here it shows us our PFMEA, and you're going to see your control plan. And again, if there's ever a time that you have a corrective action issued, whether it be internally or externally from a customer, you would log that in what is called problem solver, and that would feed back into your PFMEA to make necessary changes. And with the IATF standard, it's a requirement that you are able to show that documentation. This here is showing you that it's not just people in the office that are building this. It does go all the way to the shop floor. So you have your online inspection. So the nonconformity, your corrective action process, that takes me to problem solver. So here it shows you what category you're going to put your complaint in, and you can build your subcategory, your problem classification. And again, this is all 100% customizable to your organization. Some people have different responses. I know in the automotive world, most of the time you need to have a response within 24 hours. This here allows us, because we do both automotive and living solutions, our living solutions team, they typically do not require a immediate response for, let's say, example, pool liner. It may be 48 hours, could be in some cases 72. But if it's automotive, it would flag us that we have to have a response back to the customer within that 24-hour time mark. The idea also, when we log in Problem Solver, there's going to be several actions from a team. Within here, this creates what is very similar to Microsoft Project. It builds the project tracking timeline. You can do several different types of root cause analysis, whether it be fishbone or whatever you might need to use. You can implement it, and again, it's completely customizable. So here it shows you your 8D. Maybe you have a customer that's requiring you to use their form. You can upload that into here and use just that form, or you can use the one that is familiar to your industry as well. Right here it shows you your root cause. So it gives you an idea how you're going to go in and get to that root cause. You can do the 5 whys, the fishbone. Some are using A3. Whatever is unique to your organization, you can use that. And you have a one-stop shop for all activities related to this specific project, team members, and a timeline based on it. This is just showing you the different areas or ways that you can determine your root cause. Going back to the topic I've said a couple times now, your detective to preventative, your FMEAs and your 8D linkages. So this shows that you have your 8D, and it's going to show where we can attach it to your FMEA. Again, another IATF requirement. And as you're seeing this or hearing, I hope that you're able to relate that as you make one change, you can really see how it impacts the entire organization. So not only are your engineers notified or your quality departments notified, it might go all the way back to your research and development team. Or in our case, when we make these kind of changes, our product development team is aware of what's happening, good or bad, or if there's an area for improvement. So there's emails going around. In our case, whenever something is being published in 8D form, before it goes to the next step, we have things in place so that it goes through approval processes. So the email is notifying you, and it just helps keep things moving. It's very fluid, as well as it saves time because you have an embedded program that it affects other areas. So when we need to make a change to the FMEA, it might be to one type of product family. And if you make it at the higher level, then it will carry down through the child. And if you don't need it to be, and maybe it's customer specific, you can send it to only be at the customer specific area. So again, the implementation area, the benefit of having a one-stop shop, you have a project timeline, whether it be in the problem-solving module or it's in the APQ module. It gives you a chance to break down all areas. This can also, it doesn't just have to be related to quality. You might have a project for safety, environmental. We can use it for our change control process. The idea behind all of this, though, it's an integrated management software, so you have a one-stop shop. Digitalization of the new product development. So it allows us to have workshops for new products, the APQ process, all the way down to the PPAP. So it's a timeline. It will send you reminders. It involves all areas. So again, the integrated management software implementation, it covers your audit management, your process engineering, your audits, compliance. I particularly like it for our non-conformances and OFIs. I'm a huge fan of the audit. So again, the benefits. You have a single window and system integrated for IMS, new product development, dimensions of data. So as I've stated over and over, one-stop shop. It affects all areas. You have a spot for implementation for process reviews, your doc control. The biggest thing that our auditors really like is that it's consistent. So your data that you're entering from the very beginning of a project, so when you're building that DFMEA, it's going to be consistent throughout to the shop floor. And if you are going back and you're making adjustments, you're making that adjustment and it has to be approved. So when you enter in whatever it might be, it goes through the routing process, and once that's approved, then all other supporting documentation will be updated as well. So that reduces costly errors. It reduces personal X, such as, somebody forgot to update a document. The software does it for you. Another benefit is that it keeps a history for you. So if you are diligent about documenting why you made a change, then A, you'll be able to go back and search for it, and B, you know the history. So maybe 5 years later, you're looking at, why did I make this change, or why didn't this work? If you document that process, you'll be able to use this as a tool versus a library. My favorite part gets into the reporting. So everybody asks questions. How did something happen, or what was the timeline? Why did it take so long? This here is an online reporting. It gives you the true aspect of how long something might have taken, or the risks that are identified, or how many nonconformances in a certain area. So on the line, this specific slide is showing you just the timeline to the APQP project. You are entering whether it be your project, the supplier, part numbers. It's giving you all areas of the APQP process. And here's the tracking. So in the APQP software with Omnex, it's my opinion, a better version of Microsoft Office or Microsoft Project. It allows you to add attachments, keep track of all supporting documents, whether you need to scan something externally or you're pulling in something from document control. It also shows you the resources required, if you're on time, if you're late, and again, it sends you reminders so that you know what needs to happen. For us, we used to budget. R&D got a certain amount of dollar figures to develop a brand new program. We were able to keep track of all of that in here. Again, as we stated, that this isn't just for the folks sitting in the office. This hits the shop floor. So your DFMEA, DVP&R, DFMEA control plan, it moves on down through, and it allows your inspection worksheet. The benefit for a lot of these are that there's a mobile app, so you can use a tablet. You download an app, and you can enter your data, so you're not carrying around a laptop, but you can use a tablet. Thank you very much. Again, this course is eligible for.
Thanks, Jennifer. This ends today's presentation. Thanks for listening.